Why did the President of the United States walk into the Oval Office today, look at an AI executive order sitting on his own desk, and refuse to sign it? The answer landed alongside 6 other bombshells in the last 24 hours. Meta firing 8,000 people before breakfast. Intuit cutting 3,000. OpenAI launching a $4 billion enterprise war chest. 3 suspects detained in Taipei over smuggled NVIDIA chips. 7 events. 1 day. And 1 quote from the president that explains all of it. Look at the screens right now. Slack channels blinking red. Bloomberg terminals stacked with breaking banners. Refresh, refresh, refresh. Every hour another headline punches the feed. People who manage AI portfolios told reporters they have not slept since Tuesday night. One Menlo Park founder texted, quote, "This week feels like 2008 and 1999 at the same time. And it is not even Friday yet." Here is the part nobody wants to say out loud. The biggest tech companies on Earth are committing roughly $725 billion to AI infrastructure this year alone, a 75% jump over 2025, while at the very same time torching the careers of the engineers who built them. The same companies. The same week. The same building. That contradiction is not a glitch. It is the entire story of the last 24 hours. 7 distinct events. 7 different companies. One single message blasted across the valley: the AI era is no longer about hiring talent. It is about replacing it. And the way it is happening is faster and uglier than anyone predicted just 1 week ago. Step back for 1 second. For 3 years the frontier AI race has been a slow-motion arms buildup. Google, OpenAI, Anthropic, xAI, Meta. Each one stacking compute. Each one promising the next leap. Executives at all 4 labs now describe the frontier as effectively neck and neck. Nobody has a 6-month lead. Nobody is safe. And when nobody is safe, panic spreads sideways through every adjacent industry: finance, media, law, healthcare, education. The numbers behind this race are absurd. Meta, Amazon, Microsoft, and Alphabet have pledged roughly $725 billion in capital expenditure this calendar year, almost entirely earmarked for data centers, GPUs, and power grids. That is more than the entire annual GDP of Switzerland. Poured into silicon. Poured into electricity. Poured into one single bet that artificial general intelligence is much closer than the public yet realizes. But here is the catch. None of these companies can fund both the data centers and the headcount they already have. They have to choose. So they are choosing chips over people. And the announcement window that opened at midnight Tuesday and closed this afternoon was the loudest, ugliest, most public version of that choice we have ever seen on the record. Wait until you see what happened next. Because the first domino fell at 4 a.m. Singapore time, on the other side of the planet, and it was so quietly devastating that most of the United States press did not pick it up until lunch. The Valley woke up to a leaked internal memo from one of its largest employers. And every single bombshell that came after it was downstream of that one email. Bombshell number 1. Meta sent layoff emails to roughly 8,000 workers in a single morning. That is 10% of the company. Singapore offices got the message at 4 a.m. local. London woke up to it. The United States heard before coffee. On top of those 8,000 cuts, Meta canceled 6,000 more open roles that were already deep in the hiring pipeline. 14,000 humans erased from the future org chart in one internal memo. Meta's chief people officer wrote that more than 7,000 of the surviving employees would be reassigned into newly formed AI pods, reporting up to a brand new chief AI officer running something called Superintelligence Labs. Translation: if you are not on the AI track at Meta, you are not on the org chart at Meta. The math is brutal. And the math is final. And the company says more cuts are still coming in the second half of the year. Bombshell number 2 arrived from Mountain View 1 hour later. Intuit, the company behind TurboTax and QuickBooks, confirmed it is cutting 3,000 employees. 17% of its entire workforce. Gone. Internal statement, paraphrased, reorganizing the business around AI-first products. This is not a struggling startup. This is the company that owns small business accounting in America. And it just told 17% of its staff that their roles are obsolete. Bombshell number 3. OpenAI launched something called the OpenAI Deployment Company today, a new enterprise consulting arm seeded with more than $4 billion in initial capital from TPG, Brookfield, Advent International, and Bain Capital. The pitch is simple and chilling. Embed OpenAI engineers directly inside Fortune 500 customers to, quote, redesign workflows around AI. Translation: they are coming for the middle layer of every white-collar business in America. And that is not even the strangest part. OpenAI also announced it is acquiring Tomorrow, an AI consulting and engineering firm, scooping up roughly 150 specialists overnight to staff the new unit. So while Meta and Intuit are pushing thousands of people out the door, OpenAI is buying entire firms whole. The talent is not vanishing into thin air. It is being concentrated into fewer hands. Much faster than the labor market can react. Bombshell number 4. In Taipei, prosecutors moved to detain 3 individuals accused of forging shipping documents to smuggle NVIDIA AI chips into mainland China through Hong Kong and Macau. The chips were built into supermicro computer servers and falsely declared at customs. This is Taiwan's first criminal crackdown of this scale on semiconductor smuggling, and it landed on the same day the White House was supposed to sign the AI executive order. Coincidence? Keep watching. Bombshell number 5. XAI quietly shipped 2 general availability APIs overnight, speech-to-text in 25 languages, plus a text-to-speech engine routed through Grok. Bombshell number 6. The Grok build coding agent went wider in beta, $300 a month, aimed squarely at the seat that a junior software engineer used to fill. 2 more product launches in 24 hours that quietly retire entire job titles before anyone even noticed. Which brings us to bombshell number 7. The one I promised you at the very start. The decision so strange that the President of the United States himself froze halfway to the desk. Here is where it gets really interesting. The order he was supposed to sign would have given the federal government the power to pre-evaluate every cutting-edge AI model before public release. Pentagon access. Civilian agency access. A whole new voluntary review framework for the entire frontier. Imagine the boardrooms tonight. Lawyers on speaker. Chief financial officers flipping through cap tables. Founders rehearsing how to tell their teams that headcount is frozen and the new hire is a model checkpoint. According to reports, the unofficial reason the signing got pulled was that not enough tech chief executives could fly to Washington on short notice. Read that line again. The leaders of the global AI industry could not be in the same room in time, and the human cost is already showing up in real numbers. As of this morning, 331 tech companies have announced layoffs in 2026. More than 142,000 workers cut. About 1,000 people per day, every day, since January 1st. AI is listed as the 5th most common stated reason for those cuts. But follow the budgets. Follow the capital expenditure. AI is the actual reason behind the top 4 as well. Inside the venture firms tonight, partners are texting their portfolio chief executives the same 3 words. Cut, freeze, accelerate. Cut headcount that is not directly producing AI revenue. Freeze hiring that is not in AI infrastructure. Accelerate every product that touches a model. Founders who built distribution-first companies 5 years ago are being told to pivot in 90 days or run out of cash. Some will not survive the quarter. Here is the wider truth that sits underneath all 7 of these bombshells. The race is no longer between OpenAI and Anthropic and Google. The race is between the people who own the models and the people who used to own the workflows. Layoffs, lawsuits, smuggling cases, consulting arms, government oversight, all of it is downstream of one single fact. The center of economic gravity in tech has shifted, in 24 hours, from labor to compute. And now you can finally see what that one decision was. The President of the United States walked into the Oval Office today, looked at an executive order that would have placed federal screening on top of every frontier AI model, and said, quote, I don't want to do anything that's going to get in the way of that lead. He pulled the signing. The most powerful government on earth just stepped back so the labs could run faster. Sleep well, hope you got something out of this. Hit subscribe for more in this lane, and we'll see you in the next one.